Welcome to our journey through the terminal, a captivating tale of resilience, friendship, and finding a sense of belonging in the most unexpected of places. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yusuf Reacts. Today, we're diving deep into the heartwarming film The Terminal. Directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones. In this film, Hanks portrays Viktor Navorski, a man from the fictional country of Krakozhia, who finds himself stranded in New York's JFK International Airport after a military coup erupts in his homeland. What follows is a remarkable tale of survival as Viktor makes the airport his temporary home, navigating the challenges of bureaucracy, loneliness, and cultural differences. One of the most compelling aspects of The Terminal is the relationships Viktor forms with the airport staff, including the sympathetic food service worker, Enrique, played by Diego Luna, and the no-nonsense customs officer, Frank Dixon, played by Stanley Tucci. But it's Viktor's budding romance with flight attendant Amelia Warren, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, that truly captivates audiences. Their unlikely connection transcends language barriers and cultural divides, reminding us that love knows no boundaries. Throughout the film, we witness Viktor's unwavering optimism and resilience in the face of adversity. From improvising meals using airport vouchers to learning English by studying travel brochures, he embodies the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome. At its core, The Terminal is a story about the universal longing for home and belonging. Despite being stranded in a foreign land, Viktor teaches us that home is not just a place, but a feeling we carry within ourselves. As we follow Viktor's journey, we're reminded of the power of kindness, compassion, and human connection. Whether it's sharing a meal with strangers or lending a helping hand, The Terminal illustrates the profound impact we can have on each other's lives. An Eastern European tourist unexpectedly finds himself stranded in JFK Airport and must take up temporary residence there. Viktor Navorski reaches JFK Airport from a politically unstable country. Due to collapse of his government, his papers are no longer valid in the airport, and hence he is forced to stay in the airport until the war cools down. He makes the airport his home and develops a friendship with the people who work there until he can leave. Unfortunately, the moment Viktor Navorski sets foot on JFK Airport, he finds himself on the wrong end of a nasty technicality, as his homeland, Krakozhia, has dissolved in violent upheaval, and as a result, his passport is now void. With plans of immigrating to New York, instead, Viktor is unauthorized to leave Kennedy Airport. And unable to return home, he is trapped within the walls of the terminal's International Transit Lounge. Now, Viktor is an annoying bureaucratic glitch, and even though the strict airport official, Frank Dixon, is feeling uncomfortable by his presence, other airport employees, including Amelia, a beautiful flight attendant, consider him a friend. Little by little, as the days turn into weeks, which turn into months, the bustling terminal becomes Viktor's new home. A country within a country, filled with dreams, hopes, and the need for love. When will Viktor reach his goal? Viktor Navorski Tom Hanks arrives at JFK International Airport, but finds that he is not allowed to enter the United States. While he was en route to the US, a revolution was started in his home nation of Krakozhia. Due to the Civil War, the United States no longer recognizes Krakozhia as a sovereign nation and denies Viktor's entrance to the US. Unable to leave the airport or return to Krakozhia, Viktor instead lives in the terminal, carrying his luggage and a mysterious Planters peanut can. Customs and Border Protection CBP head Frank Dixon Stanley Tucci wants Navorski removed from the airport. Navorski collects money for food by retrieving vacant baggage trolleys for the 25-cent reward from the machine, until Dixon prevents this. He then befriends a catering cart driver named Enrique Diego Luna, who gives him food in exchange for information. about a female Customs and Border Protection officer, Zoe Saldana, who Enrique is infatuated with. With Victor's help, Enrique and Dolores eventually marry each other. He meets flight attendant Amelia Warren Catherine Zeta-Jones, who asks him out to dinner. But he tries to earn money in order to ask Amelia out instead. He finally gets an off-the-books job as a construction worker at the airport, earning $19 an hour. Victor is asked to interpret for a desperate Russian man with undocumented drugs for his sick father. Victor claims it is medicine for gout, barring the drug from confiscation and resolving the crisis. Under pressure and the watchful eye of the Airport Ratings Committee, who is evaluating Dixon for an upcoming promotion, Dixon has a falling out with Victor. Though Dixon is advised that sometimes rules must be ignored, he becomes obsessed with getting Victor ejected from the airport. An airport janitor, Gupta Ryan Kumar Palana, exaggerates the goat incident to his fellow co-workers, and as a result, Victor earns the respect and admiration of all of the airport staff. One day, Victor explains to Amelia that the purpose of his visit to New York is to collect an autograph from the tenor saxophonist Benny Golson. It is revealed that the peanut can Victor carries with him contains nothing more than an autographed copy of the Great Day in Harlem photograph. His late father was a jazz enthusiast who had discovered the famous portrait in a Hungarian newspaper in 1958 and vowed to get an autograph of all the 57 jazz musicians featured on the photograph. He succeeded in obtaining 56, but died before he could finish his collection. A few months later, the war in Krakozhia ends, but Dixon will still not allow Victor to enter the United States. Amelia reveals that she had asked her friend, actually a married government official, with whom she had been having an affair, to assist Victor in obtaining permission to travel within the US. But Victor is disappointed to learn she has renewed her relationship with the man. During this process, to make matters worse, Dixon needs to sign the form granting Victor the right to remain in the United States, but refuses. He instead blackmails Victor into returning to Krakozhia, or he will have Enrique fired for allowing Victor into the restricted food preparation area and deport Gupta back to his native India, where he is wanted for assaulting a corrupt police officer. Upon hearing this, Gupta runs in front of Victor's plane and asks Victor to go anyway. The plane is delayed, giving Victor enough time to go into the city and obtain the autograph. With the blessing of the entire airport staff, Victor leaves the airport after receiving a uniform coat from a U.S. Customs and Border Protection Assistant Port Director and hails a taxi. Dixon, watching Victor leave the airport, decides not to pursue him. As Victor prepares to take the taxi to a Ramada Inn where Benny Golson is performing, he observes Amelia exiting from a cab, where she gives him a wistful smile. He has a short conversation with the cab driver, telling him how to avoid traffic on the way to the hotel and that he is from Krakozhia. The driver tells Victor that he is from Albania and arrived earlier that week. He attends the show and collects the autograph, finally completing the collection. Afterwards, Victor leaves and hails a taxi, telling the driver, "I am going home." Yeah, it might be unrealistic and cheesy at times, but it's still a great movie and pleasant to watch. It's heartwarming and has humanity to it, along with cute comedic moments. Tom Hanks' Russian accent seems forced in the beginning, but I quickly got used to it and seemed natural afterwards. Tom plays a very naive and yet kind-hearted guy named Viktor Navorski, who can't leave the airport terminal because of certain circumstances. And Stanley Tucci put on a believable performance and fit the mood of this movie well. He plays a Frank Dixon, who is the head of security at the airport. This movie takes place and is the one that gives Navorski the most difficult time, but without him there wouldn't be this story. The comedic moments in this movie really works and is a film the whole family can enjoy. The different scenarios come together in a delightful manner, and that is what this film is. It's delightful and entertaining. So parts just seem way too far-fetched and underdeveloped. But that is passable because this isn't supposed to be a really realistic film. In fact, it sorta reminded me of Forrest Gump, except it takes place in a terminal. Overall, this is a movie that adults and kids can enjoy. The film begins with a cool look green and blue, because Spielberg doesn't think of immigration as a warm place to be for the few minutes it takes to clear a passenger and get him on his way, so all the cool tones are evident until Viktor starts to settle into his new home. He is going to be stuck in New York's JFK airport for an unspecified amount of time. From this moment, we see Viktor stuck, trapped, unable to enter United States. And that's the fun of this film. Tom Hanks is really so calm, so likable, so emotional, so funny and so real in what he does here. He's a very dignified person who is extremely trusting and always full of positive hope. You couldn't insult him if you try. It's very hard to hurt his feelings. He finds the bright side of every angle problem he faces and finds a way for him to live with the situation. He has the virtue of patience and the testament to hard work, perseverance, and humility. He loves people, and he experiences the culture in an odd way. Hanks plays a Krakozhian capable gentleman whose name is Viktor Navorski, who finds himself without a passport and a visa. Once both are taken from him by the powers that be at the terminal, because his visa no longer counts, since his country is no longer in existence and his passport is no longer valid. Catherine Zeta-Jones brings vulnerability and insecurity to her unhappy character. She plays the gorgeous flight attendant Amalia Warren, a very sensible woman who's always looking for love, trying to find the person that will be her prince. She really wears her emotions on her sleeve and is lonely. She wants some strong relationship in her life. Viktor and Amelia have oceans of things in common, and it ends up playing itself out, and that's a nice thing to play. The story leaves a lot for reflection, and in some ways, Viktor's stillness allows him to be a mirror for the people working in the airport to meditate on their own lives. The Terminal is a charming film. It looks beautifully and elegantly, but realistically. In conclusion, The Terminal is more than just a movie. It's a timeless tale of hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. So, if you haven't already, be sure to add this heartwarming film to your watch list. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of The Terminal. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, take care and safe travels.